Hello, welcome to Walks Wednesday Words, a weekly program from First Presbyterian Church in Ocala. In about 3 weeks, we'll begin the Christian season of Lent. And during that time, I'll make this Wednesday talk more of a devotional, more of a Christian prayer and devotional time. Pay attention here and in the church weekly newsletter, The Inspire, for information about Lent and the Ash Wednesday service. Plans are still evolving. I will be leading a study of a book, Lent in Plain Sight, which should be very interesting on Thursday mornings. So call the church office and sign up for that study. Last week I talked about some of the power that words have. Our stories and how they help us with self-care. Talking about our problems really does help. I've talked before about exercise. It's another important component of self-care, even for Christians. Exercise is both easier and harder at this time of pandemic. Fortunately for us in Florida, it's the best season to exercise outdoors. May be cold overnight, but it's lovely during the day. There was a very good interview by Terry Gross on her program Fresh Air on NPR last week. I want to refer you to that podcast, the recording of Terry's show, January 21st. She interviewed Daniel Lieberman, a professor in the Department of Human Evolutionary Biology at Harvard. He said that the notion of getting exercise, movement for movement's sake, is a relatively new phenomenon in human history, but it's important. I want to encourage you to listen to the podcast. I found it by entering the words fresh air, podcast on exercise into my search bar, and the radio show from January 21st popped up first. Go do that search, or after my short video, do that search. It's a 30-minute broadcast. I thought it was less. It was very interesting. You'll have to listen for yourself to that Fresh Air podcast on exercise. If you don't know how to do an internet search or listen to a podcast, call Helen in the church office. She's our communication expert who does the church webpage. She can help you or connect you with me. Let me tell you a true story. I was convinced of the importance of exercise and healthy living in a workshop just after Hurricane Ivan. I was a pastor in Pensacola serving a church and leading the Presbytery's Hurricane Response Commission. We invited Presbyterian disaster assistants to help us with the ministers, the churches, the volunteers, and professionals who were in Pensacola working on the recovery. And they arranged for psychologist Eric Gentry to come and train church folks. Eric Gentry was a professor then at the University of South Florida and in private practice working in trauma. Dr. Gentry talked all day about human physiology, about what happens in stressful experiences like hurricanes and how stress is cumulative. Working or volunteering in a hurricane recovery or a pandemic is stressful if people don't take care of themselves. Here's the bottom line. After an 8-hour workshop hosted at my church, after that workshop, I went home and went jogging for the first time in 6 years. I don't like to run, but he made the case so well that our bodies need exercise that I went home to exercise. You may do a search for Dr. Gentry and his published writings if you want to know more about that. I feel like I'm giving you a lot of homework, but there's a lot of material out there. And if you're home during the pandemic, you can do that. I continued to jog and ride my bike, and I moved to Orlando in 2011, 10 years ago this month. I bought a new bicycle and joined the Florida Freewheelers, a club that was teaching cycling, going to help people get off the couch and ride 100 miles in a day. That Couch to Century team began in February, and in September we rode 100 miles around St. Johns County, even through downtown St. Augustine and on St. Augustine Beach and as far west as the St. Johns River. I've continued to bicycle for fun and exercise ever since, and folks on that club, that team, especially Coach Leslie, are still friends. They changed my life. Go. Take a walk, ride your bike, find another way to exercise. Do it 3 or 4 days a week for 30 minutes or more. You can go to a gym or swim at the Y or other places, but you don't have to spend money. Just go and exercise. It feels great. Did you notice I shaved my beard? I know. Go exercise. I think I will too. See you next week.